Hi YouTube, welcome back to our channel. Today I will be talking about being a motherless child from my experience, hoping that when I do talk about this, others in the same situation will be able to cope and learn how to cope with the situation. As you may have heard me say in the past and either one of my vlogs, if you have paid attention closely, that I didn't grow up with my family, or if you look back in my coming out story, you will see that I said I didn't grow up with my family, so coming out was basically easy for me. And I know some of you may have questioned or wondered why, or what do I mean by that. So as I have been informed, when I was 2 years old, my mother gave me up to the system, the state. Here we call it ward of the government. I'm pretty sure in the States it's called ward of the state. In other words, I lived under foster care for 16 years of my life. Okay, so she gave me up when I was 2. Her reason was because she couldn't afford to take care of me, which was fine. There was some kind of family disagreement between her and her sister, and which is my aunt, and since my aunt was left in charge of the house, I guess she put my mother out, and my mother had nowhere to put us or to stay with us, so she gave us up after my aunt called the Department of Human Services and tell them that she's out on the street and she has nowhere to stay. So they informed my mother that she can have us back as long as she get back on her feet. So all she would needed to do at that time was to get a place to stay and get a job and prove that she could take care of us and she could have us back, because she willingly gave us to the state. It's not like they came and took us from her for any reason. So that's how I ended up in foster care. Being in foster care was very difficult for me. I moved from home to home a lot. It was me and my brother. My mother was very young when she did that, because she had me as a child and my brother as a child as well. So it was hard for her to take care of us, and it's understandable. I understand that, and I forgave her. I was mad for years and I forgave her so that I can heal. But it took a toll on me recently, because I have been going through a lot in my life lately, you know, and I have been reaching out to my mother. I know who my mother is. Okay, let me do some backtracking a little bit. So when my mother gave me up, I recall being in foster care and that kind of stuff when I was little. I knew the person wasn't my mother, but I didn't understand the concept to say, oh, I'm foster care. I didn't understand, and I knew that these workers would come and move us to another home, and they would say, okay, this is your new home. But I was too young to understand the concept of what it really was about. However, what I do remember is when I was about 12 years old, give or take a year or two, my mother came to St. John. That is where I'm from. I'm from St. John, Virgin Islands. She came to live in St. John, Virgin Islands, and my aunt, at that time I was staying with my aunt, and you know, I get to meet this woman called Mommy for the first time, and I could remember the feeling. You know, I adored her. You know, I looked up to her. She did hair, and I wanted to do hair, and I was like, oh, I can't believe my mother does hair, and my mother is this, and my mother is that. Mind you, I had another idea of the person I called my mother, because when I was young, I could remember her calling on birthdays or Christmas and saying, what do you guys want? What do you guys want? Telling me that, me and my brother that, and we would run to the mailman when the package came, and it would never be nothing for us. She would stood us up every time. So when I was 12, and I don't know how that slipped out my mind, and I just adore this woman I call my mother. And I met her, and she was supposed to be coming to get a place to stay so that my brother and I could move back with her. By that time, she had 2 other children, so in all there were 5 of us. But my biggest brother was never present because he lived with his father in St. Croix, which is also located in the Virgin Islands. So it was like 4 of us. But I didn't live with her. My brother and I didn't live with her. We lived with my aunt because she didn't have enough space for us. But the plan was for her to get an apartment and take us back. That didn't happen. And I was so crushed because I was tired of moving from foster care to foster care, and me and my brother being broken up, we not eating properly, being abused, being molested, being raped. It was so difficult for me, and I just wanted my mother. I wanted my mother. I wanted not to have to go through this anymore, and it was like so hard. But anyways, one day we went to her house, her apartment after school, and knocked on the door, and another man came out, and he was like, "Who are you looking for?" I'm gonna say K because that's what my mother names begin with. I'm not gonna put her name out there, but he says, "So who are you looking for, K?" And I was like, "Yes, my mother." And he was like, "Well, K moved back to the States with her 2 children." And I will remember, I felt like a pile of shit. Excuse my language, but I don't know as for my brother, but I was so crushed. I was like, nobody told us she was moving back away. She just picked up and left us here. She didn't even go with us. So I was like, oh my God, do we not mean anything to her? And I remember crying, and I remember my aunt comforting us about it, but they just brush it under the rug as, oh well, your mother is doing her best, and this and that. But I knew, I was like, that's bullshit. I mean, I was a child, but I was a smart child, okay? And looking back at it as an adult, I was like, this is nonsense. She could have said bye. She could have said we could, I couldn't make it here. She could have said something. She just packed up and she left, and I was so crushed. Moving on from then, I saw my mother again when I was in high school. She came home on a vacation with her family. Now she has her boyfriend, she has herself, and my little sister, my brother, and she came home on vacation to St. John Carnival. And I was like, we got in a big altercation where I told her I was going to kill her because I felt like she shit on us. Like, she made us and she just dropped us on the side. I could understand that you at the time could not afford to take care of us, but now you're an adult, you're living your life as if you have 2 kids, and what about us? And I just felt bad. I really felt bad, and I had to cope with it. Me telling her that I'm gonna kill her is not, that wasn't coping. I was venting, and let me see, I think it was, I was sick, and my sister wanted to go to the emergency room with me because my stomach was hurting really bad, and my mother was like, you're not going anywhere. And I was like, why she can't come? That's my sister. Like, it ain't as serious. But she just, I guess in her controlling ways, she was like, she's not going nowhere with you. And I just flew off the roof, forgotten I was sick and in pain, and I was like, you're such a so and so, and getting at her, which I shouldn't have done. But her doing what she did to me, I felt at the time justified me cussing her the hell out, excuse my French. And excuse me if I seem to be a little bit angry, because it is what it is. The vacation done, carnival done, she moved back to the States. And she went back to the States. She was only here for like a week or two, if I can remember well. And that was the last time I saw my mother. That was maybe 11 years ago, 13 years ago, or something like that. I haven't seen her since. In my adult life, I have made many attempts to talk to my mother to get on the right track with her, but she always seems to mess it up. She would run guilt trips and make everything about her, and I couldn't take it, and it would always end with me cursing her out, because I feel like she owes it to us to be a mother, and she wasn't trying enough. She wasn't putting in enough effort to be a mother. And you know, I just had to forgive her. And sometimes I vent. Okay, I'm going to tell you from now, it's normal to vent. Venting is healthy, because if you leave that battle up inside, I'm telling you, you're going to go cuckoo. You'll go crazy. Okay, sometimes I sit down and I just cry and I ask God why, and I pray about it, and I pray hard about it. Okay, and I feel like, why my mother doesn't want to be a mother to me? Like, I need a mother. Who doesn't need a mother, or at least a mother figure? And I never had that. I had parents who played a parent role in my life, but it was never genuine. When I say that, I mean they never said they love me. They never give me hugs and kisses. They never take care of my cuts, you know, pat my shoulder when I cry. It was always like, I just giving you the basics of what you need. That's what they pay me to do, and that's it. That's the mentality that the foster care system here has. And I'm not saying every foster parent is like that, but let's say 95% out of 100 is like that. They just want that money, and that's it, boo-boo. They really study nobody's child. And I think it made me very I turned to the wrong people for love. Okay, I end up getting boyfriend, and yes, I had boyfriends. I end up getting boyfriends, and I mean, I wasn't like promiscuous or anything. I only had one boyfriend when I was in high school, and he lasted me throughout my 4 years in high school. And then I lied, excuse me, let me rewind a little bit. I had a boyfriend in junior high, and he lasted me throughout my 2 years in junior high and some years in high school. Okay, so we've been together like 4 years, and then I think in like 10th grade I broke up with him, and then I ended up being with somebody else, and they lasted me until I finished high school. And then when I met my ex, and he lasted me until I met I'm with who I'm with now. And me and Sunshine have been together for 4.5 years. So you could do the math. So I wasn't like running around with all kind of men and all that stuff. But I turned to men who I had no car being with. I mean, they said they love me, but looking back on it, they were more like using me, because I was like clean. I needed that attention. I needed that love. I needed to feel wanted, and it's all because I was missing my mother. Like I had nobody to show me that affection. But I got over that, you know, and I still now try to make relationship with my mother. I spoke to her the other day. Sorry if I keep tending to look that way. I'm just looking outside to like clear my eyes, because I don't want to cry and stuff. But trying to be as honest as I can with you guys. I try to make contact. I have my mother's house number. I have her cell phone number. I know what state she's living, but I'm not aware of her address. And I think she doesn't want to give it to me, because she doesn't want me to come up and live with her or to be a part of her family. she needs help. That's what I have concluded. You know, I reached out to my mother the other day and I said to her, I need a mother and I need you to be there. It's either you're going to be there or you're not going to be there at all. I'm just going to cut you out of my life completely. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to text you. I don't want you to call me or text me. And this is what she said to me. She said, Trisha, you're a big woman. What do you want from me? Like, I can't come and breastfeed you now. Like, what you want from me? I was like, what are you trying to say? That because I am an adult, I don't need a mother? I need a mother. Everybody needs somebody. And I want to be able to run to you as my mother first before anybody else. If I have a problem, if I need somebody to talk to, you know, to have girl talks, to tell you about my day. You know, if I need a shoulder to cry on, I'm like, you can't do that? I could come visit you, you know. And we try to mend this relationship, mother and daughter relationship, but she wasn't getting it, you know. And for years I blamed her, and I just had to forgive her and let it go. I mean, I'm not forgetting, okay? And people gonna tell you, oh, forgive and forget, and it ain't as easy as people make it sound. And I've been there, I've done that, and people make it seem like, oh, she did that, it's in the past, just forget it. You can never forget, okay? Because when I look at my life, I don't blame my mother for things that happened to me in my life as an adult, but as a child, I blame her for everything that happened, because I felt like, because she wasn't there for me and she wasn't there to protect me and stuff, I had to be left out in a cold to people that were not even my family, so they didn't care much about me. I mean, you could live with your mother and things could happen, but that's just the mentality I had at that time. And I have learned that what is meant to be will be, and what is meant to happen will happen. Nobody can stop it. So that's the way I came about forgiving my mother, you know. I didn't see a therapist, okay? People say go see a therapist, you need counseling. You go see a counselor and the first thing they want to tell you is you depressed. You need to be an antidepressant, depressants and all kind of stuff. I don't believe in them kind of stuff. Sorry to say, I'm not a therapist or a counselor, but I don't believe in that. I believe if you're sad, it's healthy to be sad. You're not going to be happy all the time. Nothing is not perfect. The world is not perfect, okay? You're going to cry sometimes. And the minute you cry in their office, you're depressed and you need some pill. I need nothing. I just need you to listen, and I'm going to cry, and then you're going to give me some comfort or, you know, ways to get over it or ways to cope. And that's gonna be it. I don't need you to be stuffing me with no pills, which I never take any. But I just got over it. I sit and I talk to myself, okay? And people might say that's crazy, but I sit and I talk to myself, and I talk myself out of situations, like, you know, thinking that she's a bad mother, turning against her. I talk myself out of it, saying, you know, what if you were in her shoes, you know? And that's how I got to get over, or not really get over, but to forgive her for giving us up. But as for having a relationship with her now, she's grown, and all her kids are grown. My brothers and sisters are grown. We don't have a relationship either, and it's because of her. You know, it is because of her. All the stuff that happened, she would put them in it, you know. Stuff like that is what caused us to never have a relationship. Also, you know, she took in my aunt kids, you know, my cousins, several of my cousins to live with her, like 3 or 4. And when I was down and out and I needed some place to stay, she was like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You can't come stay here. And it was like, you could take other people's kids. And she would always say, oh, well, your aunt said don't take you because you're trouble, or your aunt said this. So your aunt, she would always use my aunts as excuses of why she made her decision, as if I would always tell her, I am too much trouble for you, and you birthed me, but you could take on others, people, kids' trouble. Like, you have my cousins up there stressing you out, not listening and all this stuff. But to wrap it up, it was hard, and I hope I didn't go all over the place and you guys were able to understand how I became a motherless child. I had to accept it. It was hard, trust me. I have cried many of nights, and I still do cry. Am I depressed? No, you know. But sometimes you see somebody, like especially like Mother's Day. Oh, I just hate Mother's Day. I mean, I hate it. I mean, I'm a mother to 2 kids, and I hate Mother's Day. You know, they look up to me on Mother's Day, and they look at a wonderful person as a mother, but for her to do, you know, for me to have someone to look to as a mother is like, who do I turn to? And it hurts so bad. But all you could do is pray about it. I can't force her to be my mother. I can't. All I could do is pray for her, you know, and make sure that I treat my children better than how she treat me, or how the people who are put in my life to be parents treat me. I try my best to live by that, and this is why, you know, I'm so loving with my 2 kids. I adore the ground they walk on. You know, they are so precious to me. And if you all do not know, I did not birth the kids that I'm raising. I didn't birth them. They are Sunshine's biological kids, so they came into the territory along with the relationship. But I love them to death. And everywhere I go, people say, you know, those are my kids, like, and they are my kids. You know, they're with me more, you know. I guess because of my hard childhood, I don't even want to ants to bite them. You know, I protect them. Sometimes I think I'm too overprotective, but I love them to death. And when I mean to death, I love them to death. Okay, and I will do anything in my power for them. But getting back on the right path, it's not easy, but you just have to learn to cope. What I do is I keep a journal, and I write these fingers off of what I'm feeling so that I get it out. I talk to my partner, I talk to Sunshine, and she helped me cope with it, you know, because although her mother is present in her life, she doesn't agree with our relationship, so it's like she's distant. So we learn to cope, and we help each other out in coping. You know, I write a lot. I try to read a lot of books about it, you know, and how to handle my feelings, because sometimes it becomes very overwhelming, and I have to reach out to someone. But yeah, I am a motherless child, and there's nothing that I could do about it. The only thing that I could do is be a great mother myself, and accept the fact that it doesn't look or seems like I will ever have a mother. If the day do come and I get one, you will be the first to know, you too, because I will be on here screaming for joy. But as for now, I just have to face that reality. And I hope this video isn't too depressing for you guys, and I want to be as open with you guys and let you guys know about me. So that is a story that I shared, and I hope that someone is able to look at it and see that, you know, I'm an adult, and I lived through not having a mother. I lived through all the experiences I had to face not having a mother, and you'll be okay. Okay, you find that one person that you could look up to and take. I mean, nobody could never take the place of your mother, but You find a person that is your role model and you can look up to, and you'll be fine. Just pray about it and you will be all right. Okay, make sure you keep journals and doing all of that to keep track of your feelings, and do not bottle stuff up inside. Talk to people. You never know who you could help just by talking. And I'm a living proof of what you can make it. Okay, I'm doing well. I have my girlfriend, I have my kids. I'm a good parent. Not because you didn't have parents mean you're not gonna be a good parent. But that's it for now, YouTube, and I'll see you on my next story time. If you have any questions for me, please leave them down in the comment section. I will either do a reply video or I will comment back down in the comment section for you guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys dearly. Mwah. See you next time.